you are giving thanks for a brand new day, a brand new opportunity to show love, where we can be of some, help to our fellow. And if you are here in Nevis, if you are in our sister Isle of St. Kitts, you're further afield, wherever you are, good morning and welcome. We want to say good morning, a special good morning, and happy birthday once again to Leonora Wenham. She have celebrated since we had our program on Saturday. She was our guest on Saturday along with Steve. Did a marvelous job, and we got tremendous reviews. And even in St. Kitts, when I went to St. Kitts on Monday, people were saying that they were listening, and they were saying that they wish her all the best. So, Miss Wenham, all the best. We hope that the Lord will continue to abide with you. And thank you, Steve. Good morning. And we also want to say a special good morning to Marilyn Manners there in Hard Times. Okay, she is an ardent follower of the good old days. She has sent her good morning greetings for Steve. So we want to thank her very much. And we are saying to you, Marilyn, good morning, good morning, good morning. And keep holding on. All right. And we thanks for connecting with us. If there's anyone else who might be celebrating, maybe you had a birthday just this week, or maybe it's coming up, we want to wish you the best of birthday greetings. We hope that you have a wonderful celebration. And if you happen to be celebrating some other event, maybe a special anniversary, whatever it is, okay, we extend best wishes to you. And if you're on the downside, as we always say, life comes with a mixture of, the downside. Sometimes we are up, sometimes we are down, sometimes we are almost to the ground. Okay, but the Lord is always there, all right? So, if you are down, hold on, don't give up, because the sun is sure to rise. And so, with no further ado, I want to extend to everyone, all the members of the Good Old Days family, all who are in tune to the 2020 Vision Radio. Okay, to everyone, good morning and welcome. Good morning, Shefton. Good morning, Ren, and good morning to Ms. Kenisha Lewis, our guest for today.
Yes, good morning. Good morning, Chesley. Good morning, Ren. Good morning to my dear student and good friend and colleague teacher now, Kenisha. Yes, I like to claim my connections, especially when they make me feel good.
Very territorial.
You can say what you like. Yes, I will want to say good morning to everyone logged on to the good old days. That I didn't get to send me a notification to me people yet. Anyway, I'm going to do it just now. And so I'm going to have to make so. When you go ahead, I changed my mind. Go ahead.
Oh, you changed your mind? Okay, good morning. Morning to you, Shefton. Morning, Chesley. Morning, Teacher Kanlinsha. We welcome everyone into the program today. We look forward to being here with you on a Saturday. And as Chesley mentioned, we're very grateful for the reviews that we get throughout the week. It tells us that people are listening, and not only that they're listening, but they're benefiting from the program. And it's all about learning and sharing and the interaction we enjoy so much. Because we don't want to sit here and think that we know everything. We never will. But along with you, we can really make a difference. And so thank you for tuning in, for logging in, for watching. Whatever contribution you can make, we welcome it. Good morning to all of you, and thank you for joining us. Our numbers are open. 1-869-469-7312, 1-469 or 869-469-7953, and 1917-460-2187. Those are our numbers. Call anyone and you should get us right here on the good old days and share in whatever we're discussing today. I'm sure that we always have discussions that are relevant to our everyday living, or see where we're coming from, where we're going, and all that kind of things. The good old days, and we live up to that. We talk about how things used to be, and now that we are here, we want to make sure that even as we reflect on where we're coming from, we know where we're going. All right? So please do join us, and good morning to our ambassador there in the in the UK rather. That's Yvonne Jeffers, and she's our ambassador. She makes sure that everyone is logged in. So thank you very much, and good morning to you. Good morning, Denise. Good morning, Pam. Good morning, Carol. Good morning, Dorelin. Good morning, Pearl. Good morning to all my siblings all across the world. Thank you all for joining us today. Let's have a great program. Chesley?
Oh,
Chefton,
yes.
you.
Yeah, me. Yeah.
Go ahead.
I give you the chance to hail out Denise and Pam and Carol then first.
Uh-huh.
You don't know me the work me head,
Yeah, no, you're smart.
Anyway, yes, I want to join in saying good morning. I know I have shared with some of the people who are supposed to share with now, so this will be on. I want to join with Chesley and say a very special good morning to our ardent listener, ardent and regular listener, Miss Marilyn Manners.
Oh, yes, I should say good morning, Teacher Marilyn.
Yes, good to have you as always. I want to say a very special good morning to a special sweetheart of mine, Dejane Huggins. That's the big sister to Soda. I have to call Dejane especially this morning because she's celebrating tomorrow.
Oh, good.
Tomorrow is her birthday. You know,
I want to know what Soda do you?
Soda not do me nothing.
Oh, okay.
and I'm waiting for tomorrow. I'm waiting for tomorrow to hear Soda sing happy birthday for Dejane.
Will she?
Oh yes.
Oh, good.
Oh yes, she loves singing happy birthday.
Okay.
And she's getting clearer and clearer at it. Oh yes. She
practicing.
Yes.
She getting a lot of opportunities to practice.
She excites the family with her singing of happy birthday.
Very good.
Yeah.
Good for you, Soda.
She's a rambunctious little one, but she's nice. She's into good things as well. Yes, so then I want to continue and extend good morning and welcome to the rest of my group of favorite people. Caletta, Tamisha, Claudia, and Tammy down there in Anguilla, and to their children, Shamika, Kitara, Gustavia, and Owen. Owen should be hearing me this morning because Owen is spending the weekend with his mom and sisters, so he will be hearing me. Good morning, Owen. Your mother not let me talk to you last week, but yeah, all right. Hopefully we'll get to talk this weekend. I want to say special good morning to Aishinaya, who she had a birthday on Monday. Isaiah, Xavier, and Boopsy, Emmanuel. I'm trying to forget your right name. Good morning to you all. I have to also greet Tinisha, Kaim, Kayan, Keanu, and Ajani over there in Groundhouse Circle. Good morning to you all. And then I come back across and I say a special good morning to Soda. So they look like I call your name last in the list this morning. What a sorrow, you are still special. Good things come to those who wait. And I say good morning again to Dejane as she prepares to celebrate a birthday tomorrow. We have a lot of people celebrating in April. I think April is the most important month in our family. And it got to be because Mama was in April too. Oh, and well, Clive had his on Monday as well. I want to say good morning. A special good morning to Gwen. Good morning to you. Looking forward to see you sometime soon. When the time come around, Culturama coming up, they have a whole host of people coming in for Culturama, so I guess you will be there. I want to say good morning to Piola. I want to also say good morning to my very dear sister, Sylvia Walters in Clegot.
My neighbor.
And I want to say good morning to my sister in Puerto Rico, Lillian. She wouldn't be listening to live, I don't think, but then he's going to make sure she hear the rebroadcast by some means. So my sister Lillian, we call her Mela. She lives there in Puerto Rico, you know. And special good morning to Ermin in St. Thomas, and then to Jason in Anguilla. I don't think he's on the land of Anguilla at the moment, but he should be back there soon. Jason and his family, his wife Connie, his children, Cine and Symphony. A very special good morning to you all. I want to hail up Eldina as well, some place up there in the States where she is, Eldina and Gregory. I think she listens sometimes. And to Kaish, she's very special to me. I want to say good morning to all of you, and I trust you have a good time as we interact here on this program this morning. Good morning.
I want to tell Soda she's not just special, she's the favorite of the favorites.
Oh, but of course she knows that. Knows that.
Well, you didn't say it, so I just make sure she knows.
She knows that. I don't want to rub it in the face of the others because whenever I show up and whenever Soda and I end up in the same space and Soda turns the attention to me, then like I say, oh, why you want that uncle?
Okay.
So Soda knows she's special. She is special.
Okay. All right. Well, just before we allow Kenisha to extend her good morning greetings to everyone around the world. Maybe we can just say, why she's here. Now, Monday is the 22nd of April. Is being celebrated as Earth Day. And she's going to speak a bit more to that in a while. And so she being very passionate about the environment. Okay, she's an environmental science teacher. And Kenisha does everything that is environment friendly.
I don't think she's just merely an environmental science teacher.
Yes.
She's an environmentalist.
Right, definitely.
Yes.
Okay, and so she has consented to be with us this morning to share on related issues, and so we want to warmly welcome her. Okay, Kenisha, you can extend your greetings, please.
Good morning. Thank you for having me. I would like to say good morning to my mother because my mother generally always listens to your show also.
Wow, excellent.
Wow,
Good
you
morning.
feel special.
Morning, Miss Clark.
Morning.
Yes, yeah.
I'd like to say good morning to the rest of my family and friends, and I wish that for my students, I hope that they're studying and that they're ready for exams coming up. My environmental science students, my chemistry students, and I wish good morning to everyone in general.
Yeah, better
Have a
study,
wonderful
because it sounds
day.
like she have a hard exam for you.
Okay. All right. Now, I must put everyone on alert. Later in the program, we will be reminiscing, going down memory lane, and we'll be reflecting on some of the items that we would have taken to the grocery shop to take away our groceries in. Okay? Nowadays, it's all about plastic, but we're going to go back down that road so you can start to think of how it was back then when everything was very environment friendly. Okay? All right. I see Kenisha there smiling away. Okay, Kenisha, World Earth Day. Okay, can you speak to the history behind it? And then maybe you can just let us know the theme that is in focus for this year.
Okay, this year's theme is the planet versus plastics. And the origin of Earth Day is really this March in 1970 in the US on the 22nd of April. About 20 million people marched expressing some of their environmental concerns. At that time in the US, the air was very polluted. There was a lot of direct dumping and litter around the place. There is an old commercial, you may see it on YouTube and a few other places, that would have been out maybe in the 80s or something like that, where they show this man and someone walks by and throw down like a plastic cup or something and he's crying. So there were people at that time who were very concerned about the changes to the environment. They had lived through it and seen the small changes. Even those who were born in recent years, 20 years ago or whatever, in their lifetime they've seen changes. They know how it feels hotter each year. They understand, even from when they were little, you might get a rain day here and there and you're fewer and fewer in between. So the concerns about the environment were something that was, people were concerned long before 1970, but that's when they took action. And so the United Nations commemorated that day, and now each year on the 22nd of April is Earth Day.
Okay. All right. Now, we have been gifted with a beautiful world.
Yeah.
Beautiful world. All right.
Yes,
With
yes.
so many wonders. Okay. But many have raised concern that Mother Earth is crying out. Okay. But we're going to listen to Baron now. You want to begin with him. It's Calypso. Mother Earth is crying. Okay. And we're going to listen and we're going to hear why.
In the beginning, by slow. What a sad way to go. The ozone layers depleting, endless factories belching tons of pollutants in the atmosphere. Rivers and seas can't escape on Mother Earth. We constantly commit rape. We're even planning to strip the Amazon bare. Acid rain on the nations, species haunted to extinction. A roller coaster ride to self-destruction. Stop mankind from digging a certain grave. We got to get together. This Mother Earth we must save. That's why I'm begging. Mother Earth is crying. We say to stop the polluting. Mother Earth is dying. We got to stop the polluting. Full attitude got to change and priorities rearrange. We got to become more competent. The way we protect the environment and fight for all that is good. Fight to save motherhood. Motherhood crying. In case you don't know, the planet is dying slow. What a sad way to go. Massive global warning with the sea level rising. Islands and countries like Holland maybe no more. As natural resources deplete, people can't find food to eat. Famine for both rich and poor. Impossible we might think, but we covering on the brink. Next thing you know, we become extinct. The cancer we create have Mother Earth sore, and she's going to give up the ghost when she can't take no more, no more. Da-da-da-da. Mother Earth is crying. You say to stop the polluting. Mother Earth is dying. You say to stop the polluting. Whole attitude got to change and priorities rearrange. We got to become more competent. The way we protect the environment and fight for all that is good. Fight to save motherhood. Motherhood crying. In case you don't know, the planet is dying slow. What a sad way to go.
That was Baron. Mother Earth crying. And maybe it's more than crying, maybe it's really screaming and bawling, right?
Yeah, ball and water now.
Okay. Now the theme, Kinesha, world versus plastic.
Planet versus plastics.
Planet
yeah.
versus plastic. Okay, that sounds like a war.
It is
A
right
struggle?
now. It definitely is.
Okay.
When we think about plastic pollution, we're exposed to plastics everywhere we go, every day. There's no way that we don't have contact with plastics on a daily basis.
Yes.
You could, if you wanted to avoid plastics, just make sure you wear a cotton shirt and climb a tree and sit in a tree for 24 hours.
Yes.
Maybe by then, maybe that would help you avoid plastics. And they are in some ways essential to our existence, or at least the way we live now.
Yes.
We
If
have
you sit
them
in a tree, Kanisha, you might not avoid plastic. One will fly up in the tree.
that's part of the
Yes.
pollution issue we have now. But it's we use it in our paints, our acrylic paints. We run our plumbing, our pipes bring it in. So Lemuel Pemberton, Mr. Pemberton, one year, he gave a challenge, and I forget if it was try to go a day without 24 hours without
Plastic.
any contact with
Encountering,
plastics whatsoever. And there's really, it's very difficult. You can't do
Yes,
it.
yes.
You could do work boy sell logic your plastic fact.
So
You not get you.
even if you stay
Yeah.
home all day,
All day.
it's coming.
No.
Your pipes bring it in as plastics. You'll have some contact with plastics. It's
It's
very
amazing.
difficult.
You probably sit in a
So-
plastic chair.
Yeah. On the one hand, it's had its benefits. When we needed, during COVID, we needed things that were disposable. We needed to be safe. But on the other hand, the thing about plastics is that they don't biodegrade very easily. There's a lot of research on looking at plastics derived from crude oil, because some plastics, as we make them now, can biodegrade. They're still refining that technology, improving the energy involved.
Okay, can you just sorry, I don't want to, but you know, I think a lot of people would be interested in finding out what plastic is made from. I think you just mentioned it, but can you just, what is it?
Okay,
Yes, yes.
so our traditional plastics, that's the thing is, what is defined as a plastic? It's quite complex. It's something, plasticity is something that can be structurally reformed in many different ways, but they're basically organic compounds and derived, the ones we use primarily are derived from crude oil. And so there's polyethenes, PVCs, all these things, all of these things are plastics. They're different types of plastics based on the structure in it. Okay, so to avoid too much of the chemistry, basically, it's a wide range of stuff that could be classified as plastics. Polyester, our clothing, polyester
Yes.
clothing, which we really shouldn't wear in the tropics, but we do. That is a plastic. It's a polymer bond. If you do chemistry coming from the background, you have esters, you link them together in these long chains and you form polyesters. And they, unlike natural esters, do not break down as easily.
Yes, them polyester clothes, they stay around and they stay around. I say stay around because I have had the experience. Sometimes you go to maybe you're gonna plant a tree or something, you're gonna dig up a place. When you look, a whole polyester pad come up.
yes.
Whole polyester pad come up.
That's
Yes.
a true issue, yeah. I remember one year we were doing a project and we were digging through the soil. We wanted to dug a hole so that we could put a tank inside it to keep some fish for an experiment. And while we were digging, we found old shoes.
Yes.
Oh, no, it's really sad. It's really
Yes.
integrated in our environment without us recognizing how much of it is there right now.
Yes.
And because of its inability to break down, our landfills are basically at capacity.
Yeah.
We're consuming so much stuff, and a lot of it is not biodegradable. So this is where we're heading now. What are we going to do to manage all this waste that doesn't break down? So, yeah, plastics, they're a wide range of things. We use them regularly, and it's going to be hard to get away from them.
Almost unavoidable,
but
huh?
They're unavoidable, but at the same time, the measure that the government is taking, the notice would have come out at the end of March about the objective to ban single-use plastics, and other nations in the region have already adopted this. And if we really want to at least remove these ones from our environment, it has to be a concerted effort by the entire region, because the action of one person, one country here, because we're so close together, if others don't take action, then you still are potentially negatively impacting someone else.
Yes.
So we do need regional agreements with many of the things associated with the environment.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay, well, it's at the top of the hour, Kenisha, and we're just going to pause for a brief moment and just acknowledge some sponsors.
Yeah.
Are you in need of professional property assistance? Look no further than Hammerin Services, located in Heritage Plaza, the Howells Building on Main Street, Charlestown. We can provide valuation of lands, properties and commercial properties, land and house sales, rental properties, and property management. We are just a phone call away. Contact Ron Daniel at 662-3601 or Hastings Daniel at 662-8146. The experts at Hammerin Services who can handle all of your property needs. This 2020 Vision Radio 102.1 FM program is being simulcast weekly on the Caribbean Broadcast Network, heard on CBN Superstation 90.9 FM, Go Loud Digicel app, covering the entire U.S. and British Virgin Islands, and CBN TV on Flow Channel 101 and on CCT TV Channel 291. We do appreciate our U.S. and British Virgin Island listeners and viewers joining us for these informative and entertaining programs on 2020 Vision Radio and 102.1 FM.
EC Computer Institute, serving you with distinction since 1993. Located on Shiloh Baptist Road, Ramsbury St. Nevis, we offer primary and secondary school children courses, basic, intermediate, advanced, and university level adult courses, CSEC EDPM, CAPE Computer Science, and CSEC or CAPE Information Technology. You can become proficient in computer maintenance and repairs, QuickBooks accounting, computer programming, web page design, and Microsoft Office, which includes Word, Excel, Access, PowerPoint, and Publisher. Other services include printing, copying, scanning, internet and computer rental, accounting, computer programming, hardware and software installation, data recovery, and much more. We are open at 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. from Monday to Friday and 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. on Saturdays. For more information, find EC Computer Institute on Facebook or contact 469-5742 or 469-0493 or 668-3032. Remember, computer literacy today enables occupational mobility tomorrow.
All right, and we want to thank our sponsors, and we're inviting others to come on board. You know, we are seeking sponsorship for the Good Old Days program, and so you know, if you can't do it alone, you know, you can say, well, let's get together. You get a little group together. You put a little penny here, penny there. One full up basket.
Basket,
okay,
yes.
one full up basket.
Yes,
and we really want to keep the programs going, and so we are counting on your continued support. But you know that apart from the energy and the talents that we often display, it takes money to make the old meal go, right?
Yes.
It takes money. All right.
Not only the old meal and the young one.
Too. Okay, and just to remind you that you are in tune to the Good Old Days here on 2020 Vision Radio, and we are with Miss Kenisha Lewis.
Yeah, let me acknowledge some of the people in the class. Yes, because we have quite a few of them. Sidney Stapleton has been the first one in, and he has been the one to make it in first for in more recent days. He says, "Good morning, guys. Also want to say good morning to my mom, Mabel White in Barnesgut, and my sister Diana White from Sydney and family in Connecticut." Joseph Brooks says, "Good morning, the Good Old Days, guys and brothers and sisters." Yes, good morning to you as well. Gwen is there saying, "Good morning, Good Old Days, moderators and family," and to our guests as well. She came back with it. She said, "Good morning to the guests also." Very well. You see, we are very inclusive around here. Edison Cozier says, "Good morning, beautiful Queen City." Judy Cornelius Webb is in saying, "Good morning, everyone." Good morning to you as well. Rhonda Brown is in. Rhonda say, Rhonda is in listening from Orlando. Great. Ermin Farrell is in saying good morning. He said good morning, Ermin USVI. Okay. Judy Cornelius Webb says good morning. Nabes, have a lovely day. Vilena Ali says good morning all. Blessed Saturday. Ermin Farrell says you too my darling morning. Jam Fab says good morning to the Fabs generations wherever they are, including me. Indeed. If you want to tell yourself, nobody else might tell you.
You're funny.
Andrea Jackson Lewis says good morning all. Good morning cousin Jam Fabs. Good morning to you as well. Lady Penny Liebert is in saying good morning all. Why did it move? Okay, it didn't go too far. Florence Byron is in saying good morning. Good morning, Florence. She says good morning, everyone. Following Florence, Amity Stanley is in saying good morning, all, and blessings to everyone. To you as well, my dear. Cheryl Tyrrell is in saying good morning, everyone. And then there's Annette Morton say, Annette Morton is watching. Good morning, Annette. Good morning, Annette.
Long time.
Let me look over here and greet a couple other persons who I'm not seeing up there. I did see. Well, Piola Hanley is there. I don't think she put a comment. Good morning, Piola. Good to have you as usual. I saw Laurel Truss is watching. That's our dear classmate and good friend.
Hi, Laurel.
And I see CJ Hendrickson Brown is watching. Carol didn't put in a comment yet, but she's there.
Hi, Carol.
Yeah. And then Martha Mango, she just got in one saying, good morning all. I am here now. Okay, very well. Very well. And you haven't missed too much, so yeah, it's good to have you. Yeah.
Yes, okay. All right. Yes, Kinisha, you mentioned the and you know, if our questions do not lead you into an area you want to deal with, feel free to insert, right? Okay, because I know you have a wealth of information that you want to share. Okay, but you mentioned the ban on plastic, or the partial ban on plastic. How far does it go, though? What?
Well,
Yes.
I mentioned single-use plastics.
Single-use.
So single-use plastics are your water bottles, your straws, the plastic bags, etc. So the objective is for all these things, because some single-use plastics will still be used because they're necessary for safety, reduce food contamination, etc. But for ones that we can find alternatives, and you guys were discussing earlier, you used to use the alternatives before the plastics came about.
Yeah.
Part of the reason you mentioned the paper bags and how durable they were. The reason we had the switch, or one of the reasons we had the switch from paper bags, would have been that we were concerned about the trees.
Yeah, losing too many trees.
Yeah, we were losing many trees. So plastic seemed like a reasonable alternative. And it is in some ways a reasonable alternative because in terms of the energy involved, in making a plastic bag, it actually requires less energy and water in some ways than if we were to have a cotton bag. But the disadvantage to many of our single-use plastics now is their lack of biodegradability. They don't decompose when we're done with them.
Okay.
And so where the cotton and everything else will break down and go back to nature. And so we have this cycling of carbon and materials over time. That doesn't happen readily with crude oil-based plastics. And so they build up in our environment. Everybody probably remembers stories about sea turtles and other things, mistaking them for jellyfish. One of the big outcries and why this ban for single-use plastics came about was a video that was posted, and you can find it on YouTube, of some persons removing a plastic straw from the nasal cavity of a turtle, and that disturbed a lot of people. And so there's been this desire to see what can we do as alternatives. And we are smart, human beings are smart, and so we did have previous alternatives, and there are other things we can look at now. So many of the single-use plastics are the ones you use for a brief moment and just throw away. And so we're looking at alternatives to these. And so when it comes to regulations, yes, you go to your parliament, they're voted on, they're adopted, etc. There's usually a period before enforcement that allows businesses and people to adjust. And so we have a year now to think about all the ways that we'll adjust, use up what we have now, and then find those reasonable alternatives. And so we have that period of adjustment. And I think we will get there very quickly because we're smart. And most of us travel to other countries. And you'll be like, when I was in Antigua, when I was in this place, because my students have talked about it, they didn't give us plastic. So we had to bring our own bags, or we had to take a box with our stuff. So we know the alternatives. So part of the reason we haven't really adopted it without the government regulations is that plastics are convenient. When you forget your cloth bags, there's a plastic bag right there. So convenience has probably made us a bit lackadaisical in terms of action. So, yeah. But as you mentioned something, today is actually one of the cleanup days for Earth Day. But if we've missed that one, I wanted to mention there's a Clean Island sweep. It would have been started by Miriam Noor. She would have done this going around the island, picking up old refrigerators and stuff since 2003. And if you have old materials, old wrecks, etc., you can reach out at 469-9423 and indicate that you might want a pickup of these white waste materials, because that's another thing that builds up in our environment and can cause some problems. People dump them in guts and stuff like that, and then the gut can't do its job of taking out water. So Nevis is fairly steep, so we haven't faced as many of the issues with
flooding.
this. Yeah, but it's a major issue in other countries, and just aesthetically it doesn't look pleasing, but it does create environmental problems because eventually it makes its way to the ocean, and we're finding more than 90-something%, 99, a very high percentage now of persons do have some plastics in their body because of exposure to these things that end up in our natural environment. So we really do need to take action now. In Earth's history, as we talk about this, the Devonian era and the Pleistocene era and Mesozoic era and all these eras in Earth's history, when we look at loss of biodiversity, it's happening fastest in this era with the Industrial Revolution. So humans' activity, we've led to the loss of many species in our environment. Different forms of pollution, but some of them related to our desire to use crude oil and fossil fuels in general. So we do need to start to consider what alternatives are out there, and economic growth a lot of the times. And this is what, this year we have COP29, I think it's in Azerbaijan in November, and that comes under the United Framework Convention for Climate Change, where we would have had or aim to have binding agreements under the Kyoto Protocol, which was signed in 2005, I think, which aims to keep the Earth's temperature below 2 degrees of warming compared to the pre-industrial era. But we have changed the Earth in so many ways, not just by our demand for crude products, warmer temperatures, a buildup of materials in the natural environment, that when I mentioned those previous eras in Earth's history, one thing we're looking at now is we as humans have such a large impact on the natural environment, and the materials that we use are going to stay here for thousands of years, that one period when we look at naming Earth's history and the different eras, they've considered calling this the Anthropocene era. Anthropogenic activities, or any activities that man does. And when we look at anthropogenic pollution or something like that, we're talking about, okay, the air has CO2, but we put excess CO2. So we have changed the Earth so much that they're looking at naming this era the Anthropocene era, based on all the changes and the leftover evidence that will be here thousands of years after we're gone, millions maybe. So we are having a major impact. And this year the theme is planet versus plastics, but we pollute in so many ways, and a lot of it is avoidable if we just stop for a moment and give it a bit of thought and think about a way of doing it slightly differently. So
Kenisha, I have a question that was posed to me that challenged me. The question was, how can we claim that all this stuff, plastic and everything, is polluting the Earth when it came from the Earth originally?
Okay. So that's
Well, part of it is that you see, the way we are using it is not in its natural form as it came from the earth. It has been modified, and that makes a difference.
Yeah. The other thing is, you have what you call sinks. The earth has historically had periods of hot and very cold and all these different things. But when we look at the earth now, we can measure levels of carbon 12 to carbon 14. There's all these different scientific measurements we can do that show the changes are man-made. But when you talk about it being natural in the earth, yes, it is natural in the earth, and it was trapped below layers of rock and sediment and all these things. It wasn't in our atmosphere. And so we have put excess CO2, methane, and other warming substances in the atmosphere, where naturally it would have remained trapped under the earth. In addition to putting it in the atmosphere, as Mr. Liebert would have mentioned, plastics are not natural. We take, and this is a bit more sciencey, but we take these fossil fuels, and because shorter chain ones are more useful, right? They might be very long chain hydrocarbons, but shorter chain ones are how we can make our plastics, how we can have our fuels, etc. We break these long chain ones, and when we break them, we make compounds that do not naturally occur on Earth. And so where we can maybe find some bacteria that are willing to work on crude oil, and there's research in that, it's difficult to find things that currently exist that can work on the new types of compounds that we are creating. So it's yeah.
Okay. Would you say that we have lost the battle, or we are losing the battle of plastic management in Nevis? How bad is it? Generally speaking, I know you wouldn't have any figures and so on, but
okay.
From what you see, yes.
Did we lose the battle or did we not try?
Yeah. It's a good way to look at it.
Good point, yes.
It's ongoing.
It's yeah. I don't think we've truly tried that hard. You will have the people, like I talk about, they do this white waste cleanup practically every year now. And you will have the people who are fighting every day, but it's an uphill battle. The majority are not in the fight just yet. So when you walk around, any gut you pass, any trench, everything, you will find.
I know. I pass.
Like when you take up one, they should on 10.
There are a couple areas that I pass regularly, and sometimes as I pass along. Because it's like along the edge of the road, and you have the gut, and you got a nice cliff. Something about cliff always fascinates me. One time I scared my father because he thought to fall over the cliff, but I was climbing up the cliff.
Yes.
Yeah, but so every now and again I would stop and I would peep over and look, and I mean it's the natural occurring phenomena are good to look at. And some you stop and you look over the cliff to see what's down there. And when you look, you see fridge, you see deep freeze, you see washing machine and dryer and some portion of well, maybe that not supposed concrete this and concrete that, and it's amazing, not in a positive way.
I think people think that once it's out of their space, once they dispose of it, it's good. You know.
I hate the bee-bush. I hate bee-bush. But sometimes I say, God bless bee-bush.
They cover all that, huh?
Covered a multitude of evil. No, listen, some time ago, we were going on a walk with the Renal Society. We were going along the port road there. Right? Yes, and then we end up in some other area. And my word, listen, the weather was dry, and the bee-bush were down. And he exposed all the garbage and I was really shocked. I mean, it is really heart-wrenching to see how we have really polluted our land here in Nevis. And we often talk about beautiful Queen City, and Nevis nice, but we have to do a lot more to keep Nevis really nice.
And like you have said, Kenisha, it is an observation I have made, even though I may not voice it out. We have not tried. We have not tried. I mean, people one is convenience. I guess it's convenient for them, but the other part of it, why people throwing garbage all over the place and so on, is that now these kind of operation must be maintained, and so no doubt when you take your stuff to the landfill, you got to pay a couple pennies. They don't want to pay the couple dollars for the tons of garbage, and so they just throw it all over the place, all over the up above us up here, what they call up there? Nugent Avenue, it is? Up above occasions and then places over in the new development of there.
Yes.
When the lands up there were already demarked and so on, and the roads were there. I mean, I like to explore, and sometimes I drive all through there that before people started to build there. I don't know if people still do, but before people started to build there, you drive through there and you see all kind of things, all microwave, short there, toaster, oven, and stove, and fridge. Even there, they just drive around the corner there and fling it out.
Like I said, as far as people are concerned, once they can't see it,
they feel good. They feel like
Okay.
Out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah, out of sight, out of mind.
And you see it.
It's also their space.
Genuinely.
I think it's a difficult thing for people to come away from this dumping things in the gut thing. It's long time ago I was bringing to somebody's memory. I don't know if you guys remember. You remember when Market Shop, next to the shop there was a dump. I mean, you look over the bridge
and you see the whole.
Oh man, it was literally carpeted with milk cans and bottles and everything, and it became natural. You just tossed.
Yeah.
Yep. Yes. But it's really sad. And but then education though.
Yes.
I think that's lacking.
Yes, that's
education
is
lacking.
We talk about banning plastic, but it's more than that. Something is going on in the mind that need to be corrected.
Yes.
I don't understand how and it's so disgusting because sometimes in my little village of hard time, sometimes I would take a plastic bag and I would go around the village. I pick up all the bottles that's on this side of the road because I find it just sickening to be walking along the road. I mean, and people just dump. Even Kentucky box from St. Kitts, I see in hard times.
Chesley, people don't dump. People don't dump. They just let it go.
It's just sad.
You just walk. You just walk in the road.
It's sad.
Walk in the road with a bottle. And you finish with it. You just let it go.
Are you driving along and you fling it out? Yes. Well, my people, my group, they know how I stay. We driving along and the church. Uncle Joe, so church something. I stop. Go pick it up. Pick it up. Hold it until you find a garbage bin within. Yes.
I have trained myself so much that sometimes, I pick up a pants and it's filled with mint papers or whatever, because it's just not in me to throw it out straight away.
Me wrap them up and tie it up and chuck it in my pocket.
Wrap it as tight as you can and just hold it in your pocket.
Yes.
Okay, all right. Can you share the impact of plastic here on Nevis? Okay, you mentioned the land. We were talking about the land pollution. You mentioned the sea, right? It affects the sea.
Yes.
Okay, but what about our precious atmosphere? Does it affect our atmosphere? Have we done anything with plastic that?
Well, it's a bit. The plastics themselves, the process of making the plastics, create issues for the atmosphere, because we are going into those crude oil reserves that are in the earth. So the process of making them is problematic. But I talked earlier about acrylic paints. These basically, it's a plastic inside the paint, and it has its benefit to your structure, your building. But at the same time, they release what we call volatile organic compounds. And so you may be inhaling tiny bits amount of plastics. But in terms of a direct impact of the plastics on the atmosphere, not really. There are compounds that we have made from fossil fuels, absolutely, that do contribute to climate change. So carbon dioxide is the gas we talk about when we talk about climate change. But in terms of other gases that we release into the atmosphere, methane is one associated with the crude oil industry. And methane is a much more powerful greenhouse gas than carbon dioxide. So we talk about carbon dioxide because it's the most abundant. But in terms of heating power, the second most abundant in the atmosphere is methane. And there are different studies. So there's a variation in how much more heating it causes to the earth. Some go 21 times, some go higher. But it traps 1 pound of CO2 1 pound of methane, methane is going to trap at least 21 times more heat, and
Wow.
that is associated
But-
with the fossil
Yes.
fuel industry.
But isn't methane to some extent naturally occurring as well?
Methane is naturally occurring,
Okay.
but the amount that is in the atmosphere is now higher again due to our activities.
Okay.
So
Okay,
you
because I guess then that which ends up in the atmosphere through natural processes, the natural occurring, it wouldn't. I guess the the atmosphere maybe in a sense would be better capable of dealing with that as but then when we have to add more to it
Yeah.
because of our activities, that is where the
Yeah.
challenge comes.
So that's why I mentioned anthropogenic CO2 versus CO2 that is
Okay,
there.
okay.
And so with many things, nitrogen oxides, there are natural sources. It's a greenhouse gas. It's an ozone depleting gas. It contributes to, it forms acid rain. It's so many things. But there are volcanic activity, certain events can increase the levels in the atmosphere. But there is, provided the ecosystems are healthy and intact and can do their job, there is a
Take care
natural
of it.
threshold, they can manage it. But at the same time where we're increasing, so let's go back to carbon dioxide as a greenhouse gas and the process of refining oil to get these plastics, etc. When we make plastics and we release CO2, we're increasing the amount that is in the atmosphere. There's supposed to be a very small percentage in the atmosphere, less than 1%. At the same time we're increasing it, we're
the
depleting.
CO2?
Yes,
So take-
0.03% or something should be the
Okay, I was
natural.
at 0.03, 0.04.
Yeah,
that kind
around
of
that,
thing,
yeah.
Yes, yes, yes.
But at the same time where we're increasing the amount of CO2 in the atmosphere, we're removing the ecosystems, the large forest and ocean forest that could manage it and remove it from the natural environment. And so what that means now is we have to pay for technologies and innovations to remove that excess and come up with other strategies. And where we have come up with strategies to manage, say, sulfur dioxide as an acid gas. So it contributed to a lot of acid rain in industrialized countries. We came up with a cap and trade system and a market for that. A market for carbon dioxide has not been as effective. It's much harder to do, and it's harder for countries to decouple their economies from fossil fuel. And as we look at developing nations, I think our goal for here for St. Kitts and Nevis is to be completely renewable by 2030.
We have a call. Let's pause. Stick up in there, Kenisha.
Okay.
Hi, good morning.
Yeah, good morning to you guys, and good morning to your guest, Kanisha.
Good morning.
Yeah. Just want to lend my voice. Basically, I think Chesley is onto something. There needs to be some sort of change in the mindset. I think the mindset of people in Nevis are not. They basically, you know. I've gotten out of my car, right? Close to the TDC park in there, and I've seen people just get out of their car. They have an empty bottle,
Hey, just drop
and
it.
they throw it in the bushes. They just throw
let's
it in the
let go.
bushes. And I don't know if you have ever driven on Long Point Road, and you
Yeah, man.
see the both sides of the road littered with garbage. Just people tossing containers all over the place and stuff like that.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I believe there needs to be a change in the mindset, and it's going to take the government to do something to step down on these and have some sort of littering laws that would prevent be a factor in preventing people from littering, because they're not going to change just like that. So something needs to be done to actually prevent people from doing this thing and having that, you know, that change of mindset and attitude. The other thing that I think I need to mention too is, like, yes, we could take things to the dump and stuff like that, but I don't know if you guys realize that the dump is falling into the sea.
Yeah, man.
There are lots of stuff going into the sea, and they're saying that people can't fish in that area now because the fish are poisoned with all the material that seeps into the ocean from in that point. So something needs to be done on a larger scale, and it should be like a multifaceted effort to basically not just ban plastics and say ban, we need to be, basically it's must I say, a way to preserve our environment. We must find a way to preserve our environment and keep it clean and decent, and everybody must be involved in this. That's my 2 cents for today. Thanks.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, follow up on that. Let me take some comments. I think I see a couple here that I would want to expose. Let me see. Where did I stop? Full speed ahead. Okay. I think I stopped right here. The next person I should greet is Melissa Pemberton, who sent a greeting and said good morning all. Good morning, Melissa, my dear friend. CJ Carol. She says, good morning, my African brothers and sisters. I had 3 dreams throughout the night, so I am brain tired. Just listening. So they dream they can weary out. You wake up tired. We just try not to dream because you work too hard and then dream.
How you do that, Chefton?
Me no know.
I think on average people have 6 dreams per night, but you don't remember it. You don't remember the majority. Your brain dreams to consolidate stuff throughout your day and pick out what's important to remember and anything that might be worrying you too. So get your exercise throughout the day, distress a bit, and put those worries on a paper and deal with them. Don't hang on to them.
Because sometimes I know I get up in the morning, I know I had a dream last night, but what was the dream about? Me can't remember. Yes. Winston Church 5 feet, Atta is in, saying good morning. Good morning, Atta.
Morning, sir.
My dear cousin, Ormin, is in Ormin Libert. She says good morning to all. Good morning to you, my dear. I hope you heard your greeting earlier on. Burl B. Jones is saying, good morning, everyone. I must mention the shirts. Nice okay. Yes. Laurel Truss says, good morning, everyone. Blessed Saturday. Burl B. Jones again says, here we are talking about cleaning up the earth, but the superpowers are just thinking about dropping bombs. Can you talk to those bombs are destroying the earth as well, much more rapidly than some single-use plastics who are going to stop them from doing that, defeating the purpose. You have a point there, you have a point.
Big point.
Carol says, Chesley, you really pulled up the carpet to expose the dirt. Burl Jones is saying again, the mentality of the people has to change. That is so true. That is so true. And it is something that we have to try to inculcate in our people from an early age. Because I believe if we are able to get them young enough and get them in that train of thought and that mindset, it becomes easier as they grow older.
Yes, Chefton, I was waiting for my turn to mention that example is the best teacher.
Yes. Yes, he says the mentality of the people has to change. Nevis, being as small as it is, should be one of the cleanest places, at least in the Caribbean. Point taken. Sylvester Pemberton is in saying, Avril Huggins, come listen, very educational. Okay, there you go. Brenda Lee Williams is in saying, good morning to all.
Morning.
Ingrid Daniel Farrell, good morning, Ingrid. Says, good morning, everyone. Happy Saturday. Yvonne Chan says, good morning, everyone. Gigi Williams Skeet says, okay, come back up. Yvonne Chan says, good morning, everyone. Gigi Williams Skeet says, Nevis used to be such a clean place. That is so true. Burl BJ Jones said, why couldn't we have developed a recycling industry? Would have created jobs. Yes.
I think we have a call, Chefton.
Okay. Good morning, you're on.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
It's nice to see that. I'm listening on something else called radio box. I mean, I may be in and out. today is not one of my best days.
Okay.
But I kind of groggy. But between what I want to pick up from what you guys saying, right? I want to revert everybody's thinking to something called oh gosh, this is a piece of law, the Litter Abatement Act.
Okay. Yes.
1989. That has always been there. That needs enforcement because it's there. A lot of people, including the guy who in charge of solid waste. I remember I had an interaction with him where he said he see some Chinese people restaurant dumping the garbage or some oil, the waste oil to the back of the ocean, and there's nothing he could do. He went to the police. The police tell him there's nothing that they could do. And I was put aback. I said, no. I said, you could do something within your position. And who police tell you they can't do nothing? I don't know what to say about them. So, I mean, the Litter Abatement Act, as it said, 1989. So it was there from 1989. So to all this mumbo jumbo coming talking now about the past laws and a pure bullshit because nobody is enforcing the law that is there, and that is what is needed, enforcement. Thank you.
All right, point well taken.
Yeah.
Point forcibly made. And
point well made and well taken, because enforcement is important. I mean, because, like you say, no matter how much laws you put on the books, if nobody is there to police these laws, and if the will is not there to enforce them, it not make no difference. And then eventually, even though, because what often happens, when some of these laws that are supposed to make a positive difference, when they initially come into being and people hear about them, you see people try to pull back a little. But then when they realize nothing happen, what are you going to do? Yes. You
fall
really
right back into the practice.
Yes. Okay, so a point well made. A point well made. Gigi Williams Keith say, OMG, that's horrible. What is solid waste doing then? Well, it is so much garbage. I guess it's not a matter of what the solid waste doing. And when I say that is that I guess it's so much garbage because when the landfill started, they created what I think they call a cell where they dug down, and they were supposed to have lined whatever it is, line it with whatever material.
Sanitary landfill is the term for the design.
The sanitary landfill, because you dig a big hole down there, line it with whatever material, and you pack this stuff in it. You put this stuff in it, you press it in and roll it, and you keep packing and packing. My understanding is that that was supposed to last a certain length of time, but it didn't even reach half the time. So if it was supposed to go for 10 years, maybe only went for 2.5.
Okay.
A
few things. Okay. When it comes to the landfill, we probably didn't project how having more wealth in Nevis would lead to more consumerism, and so we have more stuff that ends up in the landfill. But in terms of the things that go in the landfill, and we talk about recycling, the cooking oil can be recycled. Admiral's Instinct would come and take oil from Four Seasons and oil from some of the gas stations and stuff, any wasted materials. It can be collected and reused and recycled rather than going for new oil. In terms of other recyclable materials, metals, you get a lot of energy savings if you recycle metals. And we see things like foil paper and stuff, and we just throw it in the garbage. I have seen in other countries where they wash it. People have gone to the landfill when they want to make some extra money, find all that old foil paper, wash it, because it's foil. Just like an aluminum pot is an aluminum pot, and when you wash it, that aluminum foil can be cleaned up and put in your recycling. It's a metal. We just beat it into a thin sheet. So your aluminum cans, your any baking dish made from aluminum and other metals, when they reach the end of their life cycle for you, you can put them in recycling, and there is still recycling pickup over at Long Point area. that is sent over to St. Kitts. In terms of doing recycling for ourselves as an industry, we can probably have a depot for pickup like we have now. It works in other countries where you're charged a fee at the store, and so people are incentivized to go back to get that fee returned to them by taking in the materials for recycling. But in terms of a larger scale recycling project for Nevis, well, if you build it, you would not have enough materials yourselves on Nevis to make it profitable. So you may have to take from other islands. So there are some, to make it feasible and profitable. So, and as for the location of the landfill and how it is built, yes, I remember talking about the design. They described how it would have been built. So it's a sanitary landfill. It is an older sanitary landfill. So modern ones, because when you compress material, they decompose under anaerobic environments. You often get, if there's organic material present, methane gas. And some places pipe off the methane gas from the landfill and use it as an energy source also. Okay. So landfills themselves, you can get quite a bit from them. It's not waste material. In terms of managing our landfill, because we're essentially at capacity, most likely we would have to get them shipped off, which would cost us something, because you have the challenge, you have what you call like land use conflicts and land take. Every time we build a landfill, that's land that is not going to a green space for you to exercise. What is the ideal location of a landfill in Nevis? It's a small island. Anywhere you put it, it will either impact residents and or the natural environment in some way as it gets to capacity. So for us, the ideal situation would be to reduce consumption, and what we do consume, find ways of safely disposing of them so that we don't send everything to the landfill. The landfill itself literally has value. There's so much you can get out of it from the materials we put there. As to the culture, it does require cultural change. Because
that's our biggest problem.
Historically, when people had their old thatch bed or whatever, you throw it in the gut. The difference then and now is that the material you throw in the gut would break down, so you wouldn't see it after a time.
A grass.
Yeah, but
that's compost. That's humus.
Yeah, we've maintained the behaviors, but the materials have changed.
Yes.
And so that new cultural adaptation is required for us to. It's a tough discussion. It requires everybody working together, and as you said, early education up. And as we've mentioned, that early education, when you talk to children, they go home and say, but Mommy, you're not supposed to do that, and so they take it home with them. So we need that early adaptation, because when you look at behavioral economics and policies and stuff, you can change and deter behavior through punitive measures, so you can punish. You can get a desired behavior through rewards. So you do this, you get something back. But in terms of a long-term cultural shift, it is education that brings about that long-term cultural shift.
Yes.
So it's going to take, and that takes longer than the other measures. And we do need enforcement, because I am aware of the Litter Abatement Act. I'm aware of all these other things. We have noise pollution ones that should have had something previously, but it was revisited. And so last year, I think it may have been again signed into at Parliament. I'd have to double check the exact, but we do have something on noise pollution. But there's no controlling. There's nobody enforcing the noise pollution. We need to consider now light pollution, because I did work with Mr. Pemberton Lemmy, who has the Nevis Turtle Group, when I think the second year when he started, I was a student with him. And one of the incidences we had was there was a lamp post on the beach. I don't know why, because it's not a beach that's commonly used by people at night, but there was a lamp post there, and it was reflecting off of a pond in the area. And so the turtle, after it nested, went into the pond rather than heading back towards the reflection at the sea. And a week later, he had to hire a boat, get a boat, go in there and take it out and put it back to the sea. So light pollution is a problem. When you see lights on outside, we're changing the behavior of organisms to, you think the moths want to go to the light and kill themselves, but we have modified their behavior. So there's light pollution, and even bad odors, we may not at this point categorize it as a pollutant, but in other parts of the world, they're moving towards not making it a nuisance, but a form of pollution. So we need to evolve very quickly. Yes, in terms of our regulations, but the attitudes of the citizens, because government takes these measures when there is enough push from the citizens, because they may sometimes or sometimes may not have the political will to take these action. So there's a delay in the action sometimes that citizens want. So you do need to speak up. We need that cultural shift.
It's a great point, Kenisha, and that is why I said earlier that example is the greatest teacher. And Chesley said earlier that we were going to at some point in the program accept submissions from people. I want you all to know that you can call and make your submissions anytime in reference to things that we used to do, practices that we used to hold dear. Speaking about light pollution and education is what we need most, because I was listening to a documentary and I was surprised to know that there are several of organisms that respond that are supposed to happen in the night because it's supposed to be dark, right? But because of the light, the street lights, people's houses lights and everything like that, it just doesn't happen. And we don't pay attention to these things. You're wondering, like, okay, I planted this, just an example, may not be a good one, but I planted this plant and it's just not thriving, because the light is always on in that area, right? And the plant is not having the opportunity in the night to adjust to whatever organism is supposed to adjust to, right? We don't pay attention to these things. I have to reference our scientists here, Chef, when it comes to that, right? But
we have a better scientist today.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, but then talking about if you were to take time out to observe plants from day to day, you start a plant in a pot. And you to observe it from day to day. Sometimes you would be amazed at the increase in length of that shoot from yesterday to today. When you shut off
or lack of
when you turn off the light and it tends to and it's a response to the light and the dark. And so yes, there are many things that need to be regulated, but then some persons would not be able to do if you don't know. And then others, really matter.
I think you made a great example a couple months ago, right here on the program, Chefton, where we were talking about the lack of these what we call them, flowers that normally turn white or red at Christmas time.
Okay,
right? And because of the street lights and stuff now, you would see a green side and you see a white side or green side and a red side because of the side that's exposed to the light all through the night, right? That just doesn't happen. So Kenisha, yes, you're right. We need more education. We need more enforcement. We need more example. We need to practice what we preach. Anything that we need happen with our young people, we need to do it. Right? Too very often we criticize, we say, look at those people, look what they're doing, right? And then to self-examination, you're doing the same thing.
The example is not there.
Right? So we need to take stock of these things.
Okay, let me take some more comments. I think I have just a few more. Gigi Williams responded to Burl Jones. I think he said, Burl B. Jones, I have thought of doing it. I think it in terms of the recycling. Yes, recycling and creating jobs. Yes, Rodrigue Lewis is in saying good morning all. Good morning to you, our dear friend.
Rodrigue. Good morning.
Lewis, yes. And Vernicia Vernidoor Williams says good morning, good old days, guys, and to the guest as well. Yes, good to have you. Lynette Farrell is saying good morning, everyone. I'm truly impressed with the young lady.
Yes,
yeah, man, she's a student of mine.
Morning, Lynette. Long time no see. How you doing?
Ever lovely Green, Queen Zinga. She says good morning to all.
Morning,
very
welcome.
important topic today. Thank you. Yes. Burl Jones says recycling create a rotation, a cycle of the plastics use we have within. We won't introduce as much more, but keep using what we have inside the Federation already over and over again. That's a point. Iona is in. Iona do says, good morning, teachers and classmates. I'm late, but please don't bang me. at least you made it.
Just don't bring no plastic with you when you come to class.
Diana White says, morning guys, sending greetings to my brother Sidney Stapleton and family in Connecticut, coming from the White family in Barnescott. Yes. Gigi Williams Keith says, yes, you used to get fined for littering the other time. Sylvester Pemberton says, good point, caller. And Burl says, that's one of the biggest problems in SKN. There are laws on the books and they're not being enforced. Great contribution by that caller. Yes, an excellent contribution. Sylvester Pemberton, he renders as well. He said, let me tell is who. Okay, let me tell is who know you. Because if Jack is the litter warden, Jack and Lucy are very close friends. If Jack see Lucy dumping garbage on the side of the road, Jack will play a blind eye. Yeah, that happens.
It's unfortunate, yes.
That happens. Gigi Williams Keith says, and they disposing tires at the landfill. They had a big fire last year. Those tires should be sent overseas for recycling and not disposed at the dump. Sylvester again says, I'm very impressed with the young lady. Very educational. I say again, he's my student. Very educational. I love this topic. Our main revenue comes from tourism, so we have to keep our island. That is so true. That is so true. That is so true. And the trick is, if we focus on keeping it clean and safe for us, it will be clean and safe for the tourists. Yes. Burl says, in the name of jobs, since we want to move away from the single-use plastic, why can't we start manufacturing our own products in the Federation that we can use locally? That's a point too. I want to greet one or two persons I see here. I see some of my friends and family. I want to say a special good morning to Khadija Griffin Liburn, who is watching. I also want to say a very special good morning to Colin Merchant, who is logged on. I think I saw Louise Duport, who is this. She usually listens. So good morning, Louise. Good to have you. Judy Prentice. Good morning, Judy. I call you. I like to call people name once I see your name show up. Good morning. Okay, let's take the call.
Some people do make some stuff here.
Good morning, caller. You're on the good old days. Go ahead, please.
Good morning again.
Yeah, lift your voice, please.
I can communicate in other ways.
Okay.
But
just hold your phone closer to your mouth.
Okay. Is this better?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, first of all, I want to tell Mr. Lloyd, but why you want to take the young lady's credit?
That's how he is.
I congratulate the woman. Yeah, she's a student of mine. My little girl get chick glory and tap to take it. Anyway, this topic will just jump out at me because I feel, even when I was in Nevis, I always felt that this is wrong. But there's nothing that I could do as a person, so I felt helpless. Now, look at the condition of the dump, because it's a dump now. You go over there, they dump all this garbage right there in the sea, and then they go and say they mother clean up. They clean up the garbage. Throw the garbage right back over there in the sea. The sea bring it right back over. What sense it make really? Why they don't stop dumping the garbage in the sea?
Yes.
Just stop creating a dump over there. And man, if it needs be, find a way. Because you see that place over there is a bomb waiting to happen. But find a way to start to burn again. Because this thing is not working. I mean, release whatever gas is trapped under there right now. Because I know the gas trapped under there because the dump in working like how it was designed to.
Mm-hmm.
So if not, even right out upon the piece of thing what they start up, they dump out there in the sea. Start to burn the garbage over there.
Yes.
So it don't come back. Because it don't make sense to me. Anyway.
Thank you for your submission, caller. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, just take two more comments here. I see one from Judy. Judy Cornelius will say 500 lines for her own door, and she has to stand on the desk for the rest of the period. They don't do that anymore, my dear. Alicia Valles is saying good morning to you. Boyle says, lastly, talking about tires, we will be amazed to know that in Nigeria they take the old tires and turn them into bricks for building.
Wow.
Good morning, caller. You in the good old days? Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
We're not hearing you well.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not sure why not.
Okay, go ahead, caller. Go ahead.
Okay, so
much better.
Okay, great. So some time ago, I found this video on one of the social media, and it was showing that a nation in Africa. Why am I getting such feedback? There's a nation in Africa that took all old tires and repurposed those tires and turned them into mats for children to play on. So they colored them, they made them like jigsaw puzzles, so they interlocked. Excuse me. And so people got jobs because it was work. The work was done in a factory. They removed all of the wires out of the rubber and repurposed that rubber to become something useful for children. So I sent that information on to the powers that be, and they said they would look into it. But I don't think anything was done. They were just trying to be kind in their response. But I thought that that was a great thing that could be done within St. Kitts and Nevis, and people would get jobs, and the tires would be used again for something purposeful.
Yeah.
That's all I wanted to say.
Right.
Okay.
Thank you,
very
caller. Great
much.
submission. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Well, we are at the top of the hour. We have one more half an hour. We have to get in something from our sponsors.
Okay.
We haven't done our last acknowledgement at the bottom of the hour. So let's.
Okay.
Yes,
Let's do that, and then when they come back, I deal with the Go ahead, talk.
Okay.
I tried to find
one of the things, I thank the caller for the submission, Chesley. I keep saying we look at the more developed countries and we seem to copy only the bad things. And those things that benefit human beings, those things that will benefit our economy, those things that will benefit our environment, we seem to ignore.
Yes.
They seem always too big for us to try.
Yes.
You know, but the things that destroy us, the things that destroy our morals, the things that destroy our practices, all of our traditional things that we used to work.
Yes.
We just throw them behind us, you know, and try to adopt all the other things.
Okay, let's give a
Let TDC Financial Services help you go for your goals. Whether you're thinking of taking that grand vacation, down payment on a house, higher education, TDC Financial Services has various plans that will allow you to go for your goals. The Accumulator Plus. Choose your payment plan and earn as your money grows. Start with as little as $100 and choose the payment terms suitable to your needs. Investment Starter Plan. A long-term plan that will allow you to make that big investment when you're ready. Fixed deposit. You can fix your investments at various terms. Earn on your money when it matures. Ready to go for your goals? Visit us at TDC Financial Services, where money is made easy.
This 2020 Vision Radio 102.1 FM program is being simulcast weekly on the Caribbean Broadcast Network, heard on CBN Superstation 90.9 FM, Go Loud Digicel app, covering the entire U.S. and British Virgin Islands, and CBN TV on Flow Channel 101 and on CCT TV Channel 291. We do appreciate our U.S. and British Virgin Island listeners and viewers joining us for these informative and entertaining programs on 2020 Vision Radio and 102.1 FM.
All right. So we're back?
No.
No, we're not back?
Video.
Oh, okay.
Can't get to TDC on time to shop for what you need? Now you don't have to worry. TDC is now online at shoptdcgroup.com. You can now shop from the comfort of your home and even on the go. Just go to www.shoptdcgroup.com and shop for your favorite items at any TDC retail store. Shop online today at www.shoptdcgroup.com.
Shop anywhere, shop anytime, same quality you love. Now online. Shop
www.shoptdcgroup.com.
Okay. All right, and we are back, and you are in tune to the good old days, and our guest here, Miss Kenisha Lewis, and we are focusing on Earth Day, celebrated Monday, the 22nd of April. So we are looking at some, related issues to that. Okay, what we're going to do now, because we wanted to, and I think you want to say something about material that people, have been using now as alternatives, Kenisha, but I want you to hold that point until a little later. But what we want to do now, you mentioned earlier about the cause of progress. Progress has been good, but yet taken us back in certain regard. So we're going to play a calypso there by King Austin of Trinidad. That's not his voice. I think a lady would have done it, sung his calypso there, but we're going to play it now. And then what we're going to do, we're going to go back down memory lane as promised, and we're going to look at some of the alternatives that we had to plastic, okay? And then you take it from there, okay? All right. Yes.
Calypso was, this song was created by King Austin, and I'm noticing that our artist for today is Sharissa somebody.
Okay.
So we'll give her a listen.
Yes,
Today, when I look around in the world, what do I see? I see footprints that men have left on the sand while walking through time. I see fruits of our ambitions, figments of our imagination. And I ask myself, when will it end? When will it end? It is plain to see, universally this land is not bountiful as it was, simply because in his quest for success, nothing stands in man's way. All the rivers run dry, soon the birds won't fly, the mountains will be no longer high. And when I really think of it, I just wonder why, oh why. deplored. Equal rights totally ignored. Wisdom and ingenuity working in accord simply to afford such inventions as thermonuclear warfare and environmental warfare. And I wonder now, where do we go from here? Prophets everywhere gaze upon the horizon and declare that judgment will come, and the savage hands of unscrupulous men defile everything passed by. Time is running out as we eat and drink, species at the brink of being extinct. And I think no one can deny that the price of progress is high, real high. Yeah, yeah. I see consciousness abate as today we live recklessly. Money make egos inflate and thereby create a turbulent state. I see a struggle between the sexes, new hang-ups and old complexes. Now the question is, right in context, what shall be next? I've already seen this will have come divided between race, color, creed, and class. And some of the things this scripture predicts truthfully come to pass. Soil that wouldn't bear children, making children to be a part of this growing mass. And I ask, if this is progress, how long will it last?
Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. Quite nice. Not the voice of King Austin is his creation, but quite a wonderful interpretation as well. Yes. Very reflective. Okay. All right. So what we're going to do now, as promised, we're going to go down memory lane, and you can reminisce on what you took to the grocery shop, to take home your groceries in. So we might be going back to the 70s and the 60s and even before. Okay. Kenisha, Kenisha smile.
Let me get a few more comments.
Yes. Kenisha is smiling because she mentioned some very at the top of the
good
program.
morning.
Yes.
Okay, Ball Jones turning the tires into building blocks. Iona do say, LOL, I thought you were my good friend and classmate. Dennis Ward Dunkley says, good morning, good old days, family. He said, Joe, you're well proud of your students and family. Well, you catch the drift. Yes. Because I said it at the top of the show earlier on that I'm so proud of my dear student here. I feel good when I see my students doing good things. Burlby Jones says in Sweden they take even human waste and turn it into fuel for cars. Some international views, yeah. He said Nigeria. He said Nigeria. Judy Cornelius said, well, we on the good old days, so those were the good old days, classmate, LOL. And Burl says, firstly, they have a machine that pulled the steel belts out of the tires. Yes, okay.
It's called a debeater.
Okay. Well, I said then just come in again.
We had a tire baler sometimes, didn't we?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, yes. Pull the steel belts from the tires, yes, okay. Burl Jones is saying we can go into partnership with those big countries with those innovations. That is what will have to happen. I want to say LOL, only Ash. How are you doing, Ash? Jamfall says, I guess these were the days when we would have Kelly make cups and stop leaks, pails, bath pan, tinsel, me just say pour. The place would be much cleaner. Anyone remember Kelly going from village to village? Yes, and sometimes when Kelly come around, you don't show with a basin, because you think, I mean, he Kelly come, you don't take up that washer off, and Kelly patch the hole there for you. It's good to go again.
Yes.
Glenville E. Liebert, Dr. Liebert says recycling should begin at the source of waste creation by having appropriate receptacles to sort out the different waste materials: glass, paper, metal, vegetable or plant, cloth, etc. CJ Henry Carroll says, wow, could the garbage area be fenced off from the sea? America has instituted policies in several states to ban plastic bags. We now use reusable bags and paper bags. This needs full implementation in SKN as well. We need to go back to doing some of the practices of our foreparents. Use glass returnable bottles, yes, instead of plastic bottles, which can leach carbon into the water. Perhaps some of these practices are causing cancer rates to increase in the Federation.
Let's take this call, Joe.
Yes.
Good morning, caller. You on the good old days?
Hello, good morning, Ren.
Morning.
Good morning, Chefton and all. Good morning to your guests. Very knowledgeable.
Good morning. Yes. Good morning.
Okay, I just want to make a little input on the recycling piece. I remember the days when they were planning on getting that baler. I think it was financed by one of the homeowners.
Keep speaking to your phone, caller. You're straying sometimes.
Yeah. I remember having a conversation with the then manager of solid waste, and he asked me my opinion. So I said, I think it's better if you get a shredder. And if you get a shredder, you will be able to ship to put more tires in a container. You could get an open top container and all that. They decided to go along with the baler. And they baled some tires, and up to now, I don't think they shipped one container tire out from either. You had several fires.
So because you objected the baler where you destroyed it? Or it was new?
Mr. Thingy, be careful with the accusations you make.
No, I just asked a question.
No. Be careful with the accusations you make.
It was not an accusation, it was a question.
Anyway, the question to that is I have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay, there you go.
But the point I was making is that, it would have been, I believe, it would have been more economical to ship the tires out and it would have been more applicable. People would have been, the agencies outside would have gravitated more to shredded tires than baled tires. Anyway, that's a consideration going forward. We have to find some way of getting rid of this. I don't think enough thought or attention is being put into recycling. We say the word, but almost everything we do seems counterproductive.
Okay.
Take, for instance, the old vehicles that we have around. And as I speak, I see a truck going by with one right now. We pick them up, but what we need to do is not just scrap them, crush them, and get rid of them. They have spare parts that could be reused, recycled, and that will contribute towards the foreign exchange that we're not getting.
Okay.
If everything we need, we gotta send money out and get it. You know, when we could recycle this stuff that I hear. Just the other day, I had a situation where there was a bad booster on a Jeep. And I just got another booster from another vehicle, a different brand of vehicle, and made it fit, and it worked.
Okay.
You know, I mean, all these vehicles that they see around, they might be unsightly, yeah. But if you're picking them up, taking them to the dump, and somebody is innovative enough to go there and get parts and recycle them, charging them is counterproductive.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you charge them to take them there, and you're gonna turn around and charge them for the recycling. You should be encouraging recycling. We charge people money to deter. And if you're gonna charge, well, if you're gonna go in, I think that's counterproductive. That's my opinion.
Indeed.
Thanks for your call, caller.
The plastics. I understand they're trying to use less plastics and stuff like that, but you know that is a little controversial because we are getting encouragement from outside to try and recycle and
use less plastic.
Cut out the use of plastic,
and then they send them in.
When we don't make plastics here.
Exactly.
That is true.
And at the same time, they are sending their products here to us, sell to us.
Full of plastic. That's true.
So they're penalizing us going and coming. I think we need to do something about that. We need to pay attention to that. I'm not saying don't cut down on the use of plastics. I'm saying they need to start with themselves. They need to start with themselves. We don't make plastics here. And when they are getting on these smaller countries for about pollution and all that, who pollute more than them? They need to start with themselves. There's quite a few things that the young lady explained this morning, which is very enlightening.
Good point, caller. Thank you.
And answered some of the questions that I have in the back of my mind.
Okay.
All right. Okay. All right. Okay.
And, do appreciate that.
Thank you.
Which means
Thank you,
the program has met its objective.
Yes, and that's the point I've been making all day. It makes no sense to do something that you're not doing.
Exactly.
It doesn't help the situation.
Yeah.
You're contributing to something and you're saying get rid of it. Right.
Okay, let me just take these two. Jamfob says, and people using car tires to make shoes. Wow, talk about recycling. Carol says, a very insightful rendition, the program. Dennis is saying, good morning, Pam. Armin Miller, Denniston, cousins Sherilyn, Will, and wife, Lucina, and all of my family and friends. Okay, those are the comments we have.
Okay, well, we did promise our listeners of yours that we're going to display some items that we used to use back then. So we're going to take 5 minutes and do that. And I know Kenisha has a lot more to say, so we're going to try and... there's some individuals there. All right, so we can think about alternatives. We had some wonderful alternatives to plastic that still can be used, that we use in the
good old days.
The older days, right? So we're going to, and if you can just look at some of them and see what
And Chesley, I hope you know, and I hope you are comfortable with the fact that admitting these things that we used to use in the good old days, that we're admitting that we're old, Yes. And I have no problem with that because we used to use them.
Yes.
I mean, I can very easily make a long list of things that we used to use, carry to the shop and so on.
Right. So we can do this in 5 minutes and then we can see what else we can add to that and we move on. Yes.
We have a slideshow?
Well, I think it's a number then.
Okay. I was thinking if I have to display it.
That one. Okay, that one is a bread basket. You can hold any amount of bread. Okay. So you don't have to use the plastic, and that one has a cover. Okay. It's woven. Okay. Joe.
Okay.
Joe, you'll have to speak to them because not everyone is on Facebook, so everybody wouldn't see them.
Which is
yes.
But Chelsea talking about it.
Okay, Chelsea, go ahead.
Yeah, he did mention,
Okay, so
mention
that's
the
a
first
bread
one.
basket, yes.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Okay, let me get another one. Okay.
Okay, right. This one is the oval shopping basket. You see, it has a handle. That one has been decorated with paint. Okay. So made our older folks very, very artistic. And this basket is from the 1970s, and it's still going strong. So it can be used. It's something that we can use at present, and that can hold any amount of grocery stuff. You know, it has a lot of space there.
Chesley,
this used to go to the shop. Yes. Used to go to the market.
Yes.
Yes.
Can I say to you, for consideration, that these things are still being used, but they are now being made from plastic?
Well,
Kenisha, you want to speak to that? You see some of these baskets and nice handbags also woven with plastic material.
Well,
isn't that true?
They are the plastic ones, and in terms of weaving them, there are some invasive cattails right now on the island, and in other countries, we need to get rid of them ideally. But while we're getting rid of them, you can weave baskets and stuff from them. We do have a lot of materials here that we can make stuff from. So I have bamboo toothbrushes. Yes. We have bamboo growing on the islands. We can start to bamboo in other places is used for building materials, but it's also used to make a lot of products that are biodegradable. And I did want to mention, because we talk about plastic recycling, there's a limit to plastic recycling. So we know PVC, polyvinyl chloride, that has carbons, hydrogens, chlorine atoms, and potentially other atoms. Yes. So when we break bonds and try to reform it into a new plastic, we do not get the same quality, high quality plastic we had before. So there's a limit to how many times plastics can be recycled. So ideally, you want to be in the first step of that chain of reduce, reuse, recycle, which is to reduce your consumption. And so that is where the alternatives come in, because there's less habitat destruction to go to get the oil, less refining and processing of that oil and making it into new materials. Whereas I know I mentioned aluminium earlier as an example of a metal that is recyclable and infinitely recyclable, really, but we ideally should be like cooking from our old cast iron pots and pans and these things, because when we use materials, someone talked about leaching. They can leach chemicals into what we're consuming. There's a concern about phthalates. Now, every time you buy something in a plastic container, our body can get rid of these substances, but we buy every day in plastic containers where the body can't keep up with these things. When we look at glass, the problem with glass is when it breaks, it's potentially harmful, but glass is inert as a material and doesn't contaminate your food. And if we're going to use metals, there are some metals do leach into your food. But if you cook with iron, that's additional iron to your diet. So you can look at cast iron pans and stuff like that. We cook right now there's a lot of aluminum stuff available, and aluminum when it's not heated is fine. But the US Army did some research on aluminum, and so they do not really recommend it for cooking in, but we cook in it. So I'm not going to try to fearmonger people. It's not that reactive, not that harmful, but we can go back to looking at cast iron too, because we did get some nutritional benefits from cooking in these other materials. And so we do need to consider how we can make these alternatives ourselves. We used to weave them here. Unfortunately, Iona Smith had passed away. She used to teach basket weaving and stuff, so that's a skill.
My mother used to cook in clay pots.
And
she used to make clay products, and those were
teacher Mavis Paris.
Yes.
She's very skilled in that.
And
she has done workshops in the past.
Yes, as we mentioned, Mavis Paris, wishing her good health. But we talk about reusable bags. It's better to upcycle an old t-shirt or something. You have to make a bag rather than get a brand new bag from the store, because if they're made from cotton, it involves a lot of energy and a lot of water to grow that cotton and everything like that, and take up space for the land and stuff. So if we can use something we already have existing and turn that into a bag, we'd have all these colorful, more creative things and your individuality showing out. But we wouldn't be taking again a new material to turn it into these bags. So
Good morning, caller. You on the good old days. Go ahead, please. Thank you for calling.
Okay, listen, I'm listening right now, right? And I'm hearing the young lady.
I hope that you're listening. And keep your phone to your mouth, please.
I'm hearing the young lady. She's pushing, let's get back to cast iron. Okay, that's good, you know. It's an alternative. But it's an alternative that we do not produce here. I would like to suggest that we push the clay pot that we produce here. And I'd like to let me know if there's any leaching going on from clay pot.
Clay, you get some calcium and stuff like that, which is not necessarily a bad thing. And you do have ceramic line pans and stuff that can be used.
So then I would like to suggest when you're trying to tell us, deter us from going plastics, an alternative is clay that we have here and we produce. And maybe that's something that we should push a lot more. I know we used to send clay pots to St. Croix and places like that. We need to push what we have. We need to push what we have, you know. And yes, are you hearing me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm saying we need to, when we're educating, we need to infuse what we have and what we can find around here naturally. We need to include that a lot more.
Yes, caller. I hope you heard Kenisha talking about the bamboo.
Yes.
Okay, good.
But we have more clay than bamboo.
Yes.
Well, the bamboo wasn't the clay was for cooking. The bamboo wasn't for cooking. The bamboo was for other things.
A lot of bamboo because right across the street from where I used to live, where I born and grew up, was some bamboo. I used to raid a bamboo patch on a regular basis. Nowadays, I don't think people use it as much, but yeah, we could use it.
Yes.
And what we need to do is to get the species of bamboo that is good for that kind of thing. I don't think that this one is the best that it could be. So we use what we can, but you know, we should. The agriculture department is the way that we should go through to try and grow more bamboo and use more bamboo.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you. Next image.
Okay, that's the round shopping basket. Yes. One hold. You want the bright blood up? Okay.
Huh?
No.
She was saying.
No, y'all have the big ones that the Tunhan used to use. You have a picture of that one coming out? Okay.
Yes.
It's not there.
With the cover, right? No.
Okay. One, the image is missing.
Yes, indeed. The bag?
Let me just. Oh, yes, the bag is the next that will come up because, yeah.
All right. And this kind of bag. Remember that one from the Lazarette? I think it's Lazarette material.
The leatherette.
Yeah,
leatherette.
Yeah, okay. And that one, the person was very creative with that one.
Yeah.
She has different colors and so on.
Yeah, you got
that.
We
Used over and over again.
leathers locally here, but you have to be careful what you tan them with because sometimes you end up killing the trees.
Yes.
Right.
For the tanning purpose, yes.
All right, and that one has been around for a long time. I mean, used over and over and over and over again.
Yeah, man.
Okay, yes.
And those of you who are listening, you can call us and tell us what you used to use, what you see hang up in your grandmother's kitchen.
Yes. And with the biscuit pan. That's
so the biscuit pan.
Yes, that's kind of square. Biscuit pan,
very popular.
Right, that held a lot of grocery stuff.
And the bread.
Right. And those.
Remember the biscuit pan, Kenisha?
Yes.
No?
And those shopkeepers were very skillful at packing.
Packing the stuff
neatly into the
biscuit
basket.
pan.
Yes, man. Yes.
Yeah.
And you put that on your head and you're gone.
And that biscuit pan used to be used for several things.
The head carrying skill is something we're gonna need to relearn. I did see I would see people carry gas tank on their head and stuff. I know I am a bit too rickety for that. I didn't develop the skill early on, so I think it's something we could relearn for sure.
It comes with practice.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
A major part of carrying things on your head is being able to balance it.
Yes, balance. Yes.
Core strength.
Yes. But you used to use a biscuit pan, and you used to use a cardboard box too. Sometimes,
Yes, the milk, the carnation milk
box.
Or whatever box you put your hands on. Once it's sturdy enough.
Right. Yes, and it lasted for quite a while.
Well, you have to take care of it.
Yeah.
Right. And the flour bag, apart from making items of clothes, we used it.
That's not in.
No, it's not there. No. We made bags from that.
Yes.
And that was quite strong.
Yes.
Yes. And lasted for quite a while.
And back then when we were growing up, Chesley, we were proud to use these things. I think pride has a lot to do with our behavior and practices these days.
Yes. Caller.
Hello.
Good morning, caller. You're in the good old days. Go ahead, please.
Morning.
Morning.
The scoop wine they used to make bags and all kind of things with the scoop wine.
Scoop wine, yes. Yes.
They used to teach that at school. I don't know what do you used to call it, Kenisha? You remember?
It might be arts and crafts.
Arts and craft.
Yeah. It was craft, yeah.
When I used to go to school, we had two big scoop wine at the junior high school, but I think they destroyed them.
Long time.
Yes,
You mean long time.
Oh, they took them down?
Hey.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
And all the secrets that they held.
Gone.
I think the calabash might be gone too.
And the calabash.
Yeah. But I'm talking about making shopping bags and so on.
Yes.
The scoop wine. The scoop wine was good for.
Yes, and then they used to line it with cotton material or something like that, right?
Right. Yeah, when you done the scoop wine, you put a piece of cloth inside.
Inside, yes.
Definitely. And it lasts for a long time.
Oh yes, and they were very, very, very creative,
You made a lot of things from the scoop wine, because you made your bags, you made your hats,
mats, table mats,
and so on and so on, coasters, and yeah, it was a
Thank you, caller.
A very versatile material.
Kenisha, you did say that people are making stuff now. You
No,
were making a point, yeah.
There was a company, I would have to look the name, but there were some persons in Hamilton area who were making materials from the bamboo and from certain other thatch-like materials. So they were making a few things, mostly reusable, like bowls, plates, some hats and some other things. And there are persons here who also make materials from leather too, some shoes and other products. So but it's not large scale, it's very individual at this stage, and we kind of have the instinct of buying from away. To be honest, as we're having this discussion, one of the things that occurred to me is when you buy things on Amazon, you get one big box and then a whole heap of plastic to keep the little tiny thing in place. And as you have this plastic ban, I'm curious about the approach we're going to take with all these imports too, because that's going to be a challenge. I will say we are heading in the right direction. 2030, we're aiming to be only renewable energy sources for our production on the island. That's the objective right now, so we're seeking funding, but we set a goal and outline, so that's where we're moving. There are a few other things. Let me see if this, 1 second.
Well, I don't know if you can speak of, well, I'm sure you can. We had him here in the program with us a couple of months ago. Chesley, what's his name? Foley?
Foley.
Okay,
yes, he made all these great things from wood. I mean, when you see the plates that he make, the containers, it's amazing. You know him, right? Can you?
Yeah, I think I know his name. But our calabash and stuff, but I was just missed a call from someone who would have been able to tell me about the place in Hamilton area. But in our landfill, they do let people come and collect glass. So you can make terrazzo products and stuff. They do let people come in and utilize the glass for terrazzo products. And if we talk about incineration reduces volume by like 90% or more. But it is potentially dangerous if you just open burning like that. So you have places like the Netherlands, and I think there might be a new one in Australia now, where you look at waste to energy generation. Much of this stuff would have come from an energy source like a fossil fuel, or it's organic material like wood. So they use that to generate energy rather than buying more fossil fuels. So we do need to decrease the volume The approach we'll take for that, I don't know, because waste to energy, you need to build a plant.
But there was some talk of that around here.
Yes,
It
we
is
have.
it is feasible.
We have
but,
a lot of that, Chefton, talk.
The good thing about us is that I don't think for the long term, the amount of waste we have, it's big for the
Would
island,
be able to maintain.
but it wouldn't maintain it. But Nevis is so special. Geographically, geologically, in so many ways, because we can use geothermal, we can use solar, we do use wind, and there are individuals who do use solar right now. We're next to the ocean. There's the potential to use the ocean. Wave, OTEC, all these other technologies. So Nevis, more so, we are idyllic. Beautiful place, right? So many unique geological features, from a tiny island with waterfalls, a place where you can find quartzites and stuff. So we should keep it pristine, but we're also in an ideal location to adapt some of these other technologies. But we need to do it in a sustainable, practical way. So there will be some land use challenges and adaptation, but it's feasible if we really mean to do it.
I think we need to give you a job in consultancy, Kenisha.
Yes. Well, we are at the bottom of the hour. Boy.
Time flies quickly, yes.
But Kenisha, we really want to thank you.
Yes, indeed.
Sharing your knowledge and your passion. We are feeling your passion. And, we hope that, this program would have helped to raise an awareness as to the fight that is being waged against plastic in our world. Yes. Okay.
And I hope your students are not just listening to you to achieve a subject pass, but that they are changing their practices.
I know many of my students are passionate.
Oh, very good.
Yeah, I met some of them before I started teaching them in sixth form. I met them at beach cleanups and all these other things. Like we said, though, it's an uphill battle. You clean the beach, you go back, you see it put on again. I believe sometimes people find the garbage to be decorative, because for me it's illogical. I've walked along the roads, clean up something, and to turn backward now to head home and see another plastic bag flying again. So I don't know.
It can be frustrating.
It is very frustrating.
So there've been big cleanups all along the beaches. You come back and you see more of that illegal large materials being dumped there, the white waste and concrete, construction materials. So we do have an uphill battle. So it's an attitude change for the society that needs to come about, and we need to speak up when we see behaviors that do not align with what should be our ideal values at this time.
Yeah. And as one caller mentioned earlier, we need to police these efforts. If you have legislation in place to ensure that people understand the direction that you're going, then you have to enforce it, because unfortunately sometimes we don't learn unless we're punished. So we have to go whatever route we have to take to ensure that everyone benefits.
Any final words, Kenisha, as we look towards Earth Day 2020?
Well,
what? Yes.
The planet versus plastic 2024.
Yes.
This year is a big year for the region in general, as we have COP29, and we'll be speaking about us, small island nations that, as was mentioned, we do not contribute to a lot of the environmental problems that are out there, but we feel the greatest impacts from more intense storms, etc. And all this material, we make money primarily through tourism, and with it, it brings a lot of waste materials. So we do need to consider alternatives. How are we going to do this as we promote Nevis naturally, Nevis sustainably? But at the same time, we are small. We need the larger countries to also take on this challenge and mean it. Because right now, depending on what's happening in the U.S., a president changes here, a president changes there, and their policies completely change on the environment and what is produced and how it is done, and whether they are going to enforce the binding agreements from the Kyoto Protocol or not. We, as individuals and small nations, we can certainly take action, but globally we need a global response to truly deal with these issues. But for ourselves, let's keep Nevis clean.
Indeed. Will you talk about the COP 29? You say it is
COP 29 this year.
Yes, and I've been hearing talk of the SIDS conference, Small Island Developing States, that is supposed to be happening close to us in Antigua in a couple of months or so, I think. And I know that those are those are topics that are normally on the table for discussion in such conference. Let's hope they truly make it meaningful.
Yes.
Because if, and you know it is meaningful when you see action coming out of it, positive action. Okay, just take a few comments. Carol says that bread basket is beautiful. Ever Lovely Green says the people on the islands should purchase or order baskets from the craft house so that economy will circulate and in and around the island. That is true. That is true. Carol also says Charles Brown used to sell those vinyl leather bags. Yeah. I wanna do is calling Jetty Taylor. Jamfal says I'm much younger, but did they use crocus bag to put things into?
Of
Yes,
course.
yes,
Yeah.
of course.
Yeah.
I wonder if James Brooks could help me out with that answer. Even Jeff was saying good morning to you in England, and good afternoon to you in
night.
England,
Good
and
afternoon,
good morning from over here. Yes. CJ Hendrickson Brown is saying Amazon and other companies are using shredded paper here. Okay. Joseph, as packing material, I think Jimmy, yes.
So we,
oh God, he can't. Yes. Yeah. Joseph Brooks says, why isn't this lady not working for the federal government based in Nevis? Well, she's working for the government. Well, maybe
she's in a good place.
education brings about the long
Yes. Indeed.
Yes.
She's in a good place, Carla. Thank you so much.
She's in a place where she touched many lives.
Yeah, she just needs some more money.
but we can understand because she has such a drive.
Yes.
And such good ideas and so on. I think.
And it's a good thing. I have to
Kenisha,
commend Kenisha because it's not very often that you find people in places where they're passionate and enjoy what they're doing. And you certainly have that written all over you. So thank you very much for your contribution this morning, Kenisha. Splendid.
Should we hear from Notsi?
Oh yes, okay. Maybe we can end with our own Notsi from Brown Hill. He did speak to the environment.
Boom bam boom bam bee. Boom ba dum bam boom bam bam bee. Global warming and new threat to man's survival on earth. As we conquer seeking progress, we create destruction and growth. Ice sheets they say are melting, creating catastrophe. Sea levels are quickly rising, soon to wipe out you and me. Mankind is surely facing extinction. Mother Earth crying and dying still, destroying air, destroying land and the ocean. Our future is looking very dim. Our talk about technology and progress means nothing to the nation's poor. The more we invent, the more we create in distress. Soon Mother Earth will be no more. Mother Earth crying, we got to do something. Lord have mercy on us. Mother Earth crying still. Boom bam bee. Man exploiting the ocean. Man has gone to outer space, searching areas to conquer, more resources to put to waste. Fighting wars in many places, while millions die of hunger. Why can't we stop the madness and help the poor who suffer? Mankind is surely facing extinction. Mother Earth crying and dying still, destroying air, destroying land and the ocean. Our future is looking very dim. All talk about technology and progress means nothing to the nation's poor. The more we invent, the more we create in distress. Mother Earth will be no more. Mother Earth crying, we got to do something. Lord have mercy on us. Mother Earth crying still. Boom bam beat. We cut down mountain forest, eradicate man goes once. Dump cabbage in the ocean, mankind can do no wrong. We plant these skyscrapers, no money there to build farms. It's we who creating ghettos, crime and violence in the land. Mankind is surely facing extinction. Mother Earth crying and dying.
Our current time is 11:45.
Destroying land and the ocean. Our future is looking bright with him. Our talk for technology and progress means nothing to the nation's poor. The more we invest, the more we create in distress. Soon Mother Earth will be no more. Mother Earth crying, we got to do something. Lord have mercy on us. Mother Earth crying still. Boom bam beat. Dee-da. Mother Earth crying, we got to do something. Lord have mercy on us. Mother Earth crying still. Mother Earth crying, we got to do something. Lord have mercy on us. Mother Earth crying still. Mother Earth crying, we got to do something. Lord have mercy on us. Mother Earth crying still.
Okay, wow. All right, so that would do it for today's edition of the Good Old Days. Thanks to everyone for being with us. Thanks for your calls. Thanks for your contributions. Okay, and yes.
And I think that the program, as usual, lived up to the expected standards. You know, in terms of the comments made and that kind of thing. So it was good to be here. It was good to be here again, and it would be even better if we know that the information shared on this program by our very good resource person, Miss Kenisha Lewis, that people will take it on board and we will see some positive difference happening.
Yes, thank you so much, Kenisha, for consenting to be with us this morning. Tremendous information, and we wish you all the well. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. Yes. Thank you. Want to
say something last, Kenisha?
Well, to be honest, my thought was hearing all these songs is we put some really good beats to some tragedies, but that's how we engage people. So they were good songs.
Yes, because the rhythm going to catch them first. And once the rhythm catch you, then you're going to tune in to what it is saying. Yes. Because I was thinking along the line of that one, I was saying, in my mind, I'm saying, boy, I only wish that people could take these messages seriously. Yes, because we have some powerful messages there. And I mean,
So any educational campaign that we embark on in the future, we can
incorporate
these,
right?
right?
Yes. Because it's going to make the point. It's going to make the point. Yes.
Okay.
And I mean, there are some persons who can stay focused and stay in tune from a long lecture session. But there are some others who need something to break it. You put in a song, makes a big difference for me.
All right. Thank you. All right, everybody. Have a good weekend. See you again next Saturday, God's willing.
Yes.
Kenisha, thanks again.
You're very welcome.
Enjoy.
Thank you.